My regards. Since the first day that Laporta returned to the presidency of Barcelona, he has been trying to restore the glories of the past, and he has been repeating the word dream team, which was associated with the legend Johan Cruyff, and was associated a second time with Barcelona's Pep, but to a lesser extent. What distinguished both cases was the presence of players produced by La Masia who were an essential part of Barcelona's success, and because La Masia has a specific style of training, it was necessary to search for a coach who resembles them. A coach who takes possession and passes the ball on the ground, a coach who believes in these ideas, and with every innovation that Barcelona makes for any young player. At age, he writes a word. Dream Team is like a sign that these are the backbone of the golden generation with which we will build the glories of Barcelona again. What does Xavi think about managing this golden generation and managing talents, even though he received bad news about Xavi's injury in the last days of the international tour? The first positive thing that Xavi did was that raising the standards. Raising the standards for Barcelona's representation from La Masia, Koeman was giving opportunities to the players, and the first time you saw them you said this is not suitable for Barcelona, like Nico Gonzalez or Mengueza and others. No, that's why he came here. He has to go to a second team that might develop later, but not now. He's not ready at all. His start was excellent. When his performance decreased, he was loaned to Brighton, which gave my country a chance. It was a very bold opportunity, and we began to hear new names for Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, and Mubarak Gio. In fact, Xavi's reliance on young names was not an absolute choice, but rather it was a touch of force, because Barcelona's financial circumstances did not help him. He replaces a player with a player. For example, Lamine Yamal saved Barcelona money that came from selling Dembélé and Dembélé's salary because he occupies his place and has to work, so there is a financial expense for him, and I will give you a simple number. Every player in Barcelona that you see turns into a first-team player, so he saves Barcelona in 1 year. Approximately 20 to 30 million euros. Each player from La Masia comes out, so he separates from them by adjusting their financial accounts. Until the club stabilizes, you ask me how. 20 to 30 million euros is an approximate figure for the purchase value of any player, and you divide it by 5 years, and you add his salary, and this number turns out to be large. For Lamine Yamal, he was one of the players who closed an important loophole with the departure of Dembélé, the decline in Rafinha's level and their injuries, and Fermin Lopez, he was the player. He closed the gap of injuries in the midfield and provided good minutes in several matches. His first minutes in El Clasico are enough to make you say he deserves more opportunities this season, and one of the positives of Xavi is that he is a great player, a legend in Barcelona, so the players deal with him well, and they listen to him. Because of this, the young players are expected to develop technically with him, develop positionally with him on the field because they listen to him. And we remember what Xavi was doing on the field in the past. Perhaps the problem that Xavi faces is managing talents that are outside his control, but rather it is the control of the teams. I mean, he got injured because of the national teams. Pedri was completely exhausted 1 year, as he remembered, to the point where fatigue appeared on his face as a hero, and thus he was exposed to pressure, so Pedri turned into a player who gets injured a lot. This is outside his control. Managing the use of players is his ability. We see him relaxing and changing between them, rotating between them, but when many players are associated with the national team and then there are injuries in Barcelona, Xavi loses the advantage of managing the players' bodies so that they develop and grow, and there is frankly negative related to Xavi with many of them. Young players change their position a lot as if he sees them. They do not oppose, meaning Gundogan, for example. If he tells him to play right winger, he will tell him why I am a midfielder and De Jong, for example. He will be in some kind of situation. The clash, or is it to avoid this clash, so if you use youngsters, you will see Xavi, a right winger, a left winger, a midfielder, a late midfielder, you will see Fermin Lopez, a late midfielder, a right midfielder, a winger. You will see this formation, and the management of this large number of positions is the worst thing about it. Barcelona means it caused it in one way or another. Another way to hinder Rafinha's career is right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right of time, and in the past it was Coutinho, the same thing every match, shape and position, in the end he was sold, and also Sergi Roberto when they used to call him the Joker who mastered everything. Centers. He has become the joker who does not master any position, and therefore this is the problem of the youth here. The player must stick to a position. In the beginning, you know its advantages and characteristics, how he should play and who he should complete the match with on the field. After that, change begins, and after he gains complete confidence in a specific position in order to. He does not waste and develops in a place where this is his place. But also before we conclude with something big positive, they work on Xavi with the talents of Barcelona. When you see Fermin Lopez playing El Clasico, with this confidence you see Xavi from the first time he came on playing, with this confidence you see Lamine Yamal taking the field as if he were a player. He gave a great march before this match. And when my father was opening the wing alone, she said, no, Xavi prepares these players mentally in a big way, and he doesn't make them feel that they are small. No. In general, we say that Xavi succeeded in managing Barcelona's talents by 80%, and I will say more. Talent management in Barcelona now is not prestige, not for advertising and marketing. We have La Masia. No, it is a matter of existence, a matter of returning to the top. Barcelona is forced to produce more players than La Masia are ready. They represent the first team and play at the highest levels in order to manage their money in the correct way and return quickly. Without this, Barcelona will have their return delayed. Every player you see has not adapted. I know that Barcelona lost more money, and here the story begins, the issue of talent management in Barcelona. Unlike all the big clubs, other big clubs may be trying to showcase 2 or 1 players, and some of them are trying to showcase their talent. However, his financial situation is strong and he is able to expand the talent and buy a ready-made player, but Barcelona does not have this ability, so the most important thing is not what Barcelona is focusing on, you as a fan and Laporta as a manager, is the issue of promoting a good number of La Masia players to the first team as quickly as possible.